I didn't have you, if I didn't have you, if I didn't have you, yeah. If I didn't have you, if I didn't have you, if I didn't have you.
Sardinia for 3 minutes and Scooter is already at a snack machine. We just made it. We just made it to Sardinia.
Sardinia! How you feel?
And Sweetie is already hungry.
We come right in from Europe. You know, we spend the day with our family because it's New Year's Day. And now it's time to start rehearsals for the 3-in-1 live recording. It's phase 2, Raytina and Christina. We're doing something that's never been done before. We have 3 different artists and we're all recording on one night. 3 different projects, but we're all recording on one night.
Most people think that all of the music that we did will be going on one album, but we just basically came together for that one night through a concert. And after that, we went to the studio and did our own separate thing. So everybody's going to have their own separate album.
So we had our own separate segments. We did about 4 or 5 songs each. Those songs will be the live songs on each individual project. So I'll have my live songs from that night and some studio songs, and that'll be on my personal project that'll be coming out. And it'll be the same for Christina Bell and Phase 2.
Well, rehearsals, they were a little different. Normally what we do is, you know, we send out all the music and send out lyrics. We send out, you know, the itinerary, everything for rehearsals. This time, as organized as we are, you know, that's the only thing that really got us through this, honestly, the grace of God and organization. That's because Phase 2 went on a European tour for like over a month with our own Minister Cedric Shannon Reeves. So they went out and sang like everywhere, you know, everywhere in Europe. And so they got back, 2 weeks maybe? I think they got back 2 weeks before the actual recording, 2.5 weeks, something like that. So that's all they had to rehearse with us. So while they were gone, the band and the background singers, we were back home rehearsing every week and uploading the music to them so they can listen, so they can learn or whatever. And when they came in, tightened up, changed whatever they wanted to change, and then, you know, from there on, we went ahead and did what we did.
For about a week or 2, maybe 3. I won't say 3, maybe 2 weeks before.
Now, for some strange reason, I'm trying to see why Raytina Robinson missed the first 2 rehearsals. Now, what you have to know is that Raytina was pregnant during this whole, you know, ordeal. This was before she had the new baby. And so I don't know if that messed with her hearing, if she couldn't see and read the itinerary. I don't know what happened. All I know is Raytina did not show up for the first 2 rehearsals. So she's on here talking about she was nervous because we only rehearsed for a week or 2. No, we rehearsed for a month and a half. She rehearsed for 2 weeks. So I don't know where she got that from. So.
At one point, I was thinking, are we still, you know, because we hadn't started rehearsing. Are we still recording? We hadn't started rehearsing, but once again, God showed himself, you know.
both Christina and Raytina have the story wrong. So like I said before, we do what's called scratch tracks. A scratch track is when they come into the studio and we'll decide and pick which songs we're going to do, and we lay down the scratch. I'll play piano and maybe have a loop or a drum beat going, and we record it and send it out to everybody. Okay, so Christina came first. Phase 2 came first, but Christina came before Raytina, since I'm talking about Christina and Raytina. Christina came before Raytina. So Christina presented her songs, and we wanted to do, at that time we were still trying to debate whether or not we were going to do 4 or 5 songs each for the live recording. Well, Christina only laid down 4 scratch songs. Well, Raytina came like maybe 2 days later or so, and once Raytina came, there was another song that I ended up getting and sitting down and coming up with that I thought and said, oh yeah, Christina, I'm gonna give her this song right here. And it was called It Is Well.
She was actually supposed to do the scratch track for me, so that when I got in the studio, I would have something to follow. I would know, where to go. But turns out she took the song.
It Is Well? Yes. Listen, I didn't steal a thing. We were going over songs for me to do live, and 2 brought the song to me. Well, I'm like, I'm not really the shout kind of take them to church singer. So I'm like, well, you can just go ahead and you can get as Christina, because I don't think I can do it any justice. I'm sitting there listening, and he's playing it, and he's singing it, and I go and I do the scratch vocal, and I'm singing it, and I'm, okay. It's in my mind based on the hymn, right? It Is Well, and that's my favorite hymn of all time. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I do really love the hymn, but just the style of it, I couldn't at the time talk myself into, girl, you're gonna be up there and they just gonna be looking at you like, what are you doing? And so I'm like, no, I'll pass but it was mine first. You can't steal what's yours.
Came up with that idea for Christina. I don't know how Raytina has this story wrong. I don't know how Christina has it wrong. I was there in my mind when I came up with it. I know who I was coming up with it for.
Everybody that knows knows he has selective amnesia.
So Raytina can't tell me nothing. She doesn't know.
So I go home, and then I just can't let the song go. I'm all in the shower, singing it to myself, and before 24 hours were up, I was on my phone texting. I'm like, I want to do it. Can I do it now? I want to do it. So
then a couple of days later, I get a call from Raytina, or a text, rather. It was a text. And she said she just connected. She wanted to know if I had given the song to Christina yet. I told her no, and she was saying she just fell in love with it. She connected with it, and she just really wanted to know if she could have it. So I was like, cool.
It Is Well. Raytina Robinson was she's the perfect voice for it.
I said the traditional way. With peace like a river, attended my way. And silently billows roll. Oh, in the night, God's turning to side. Oh, it is well. Oh, it is well. It is well with my soul. I decided it is well.
MeTooMusic presents Phase 2. New projects still here. Featuring Free at Last. Also featuring Great God.
There is no one above you.
And also featuring Didn't Have You. Didn't Have You. New projects still here. Half live, half studio from St. Louis's own Phase 2. Phase 2.
Amazing grace, how sweet it sounds, that he saved a wretch like you and me.
Available now at iTunes, Google Play Store, and Amazon, and all other digital media outlets. Also available at Phase 2. Music.com. Phase 2. Music.com. Phase 2. Music.com. Phase 2. Phase 2. Still here. Get it now. Get it now. Get it now.
One thing I can say about the 3-in-1, so usually for background, Raytina, we bring in Phase 2 for background. Christina has sung background. Well, the problem this time is all of them are featured artists. So finding background singers this time was like, okay, what are we gonna do? So I had to reach back into the old days. We used to have a group called Gospel According to Two that was kind of pre-MeTooMusic. It was still MeTooMusic, but not really as the entertainment group. But I had to reach back and pull in Danae, now Danae Rogers, Tink. Tink is the original. She is the original MeTooMusic. That was the sound. Tiffany Tink Williams. So y'all don't get it twisted. Tink is the original group. Her all by herself. She used to do all of the backgrounds to all of the songs in the studio, all of our earlier stuff.
Bam. Please don't. Please, that's perfect.
And then we also brought in Tanya Coleman. We brought in Christina Baldwin and Shonda Jefferson. Shonda sang with us. She didn't sing on the Megan recording. She did sing with us for St. Louis Area Fellowship. And then she traveled around with Megan when Megan was out traveling and touring. And then Tanya sung with us on a lot of stuff as well. She was with the St. Louis Area Fellowship as well. And she sang background with us when we did William Rayner Jr. I think this was Christina Baldwin's first go round with us. But I'm just happy that Lamont, always, Lamont Sloan comes back home. He's in Kansas City now, so he came back and got on the record and sang and acted wild and shook his hair and all of that. And my sister Crystal from Florida. So, hey, it was what it was. Of course, Teresa, can't leave out Teresa. That's the group right there. So we had our foundation and we had a couple of added new voices and everything worked out. They came on in and did their thing. Raytina to lay down the scratch version to It As Well for Christina. I don't know how she gets this confused. I asked her for Christina, and we came up with and wrote and arranged along with her husband and Tim Quarles. He Is, which is totally different now that's on Christina's album.
I had not, written that many songs, and he, like, how I got these 2 songs for you, which was He Is didn't make the cut, which is not like what it is on Christina's CD. Let me tell you, that's not the version that was presented to me.
Got to the studio and then we presented He Is to Christina, but by the time I started singing it with Christina, or I heard Christina's vocal, we heard it in kind of different arrangements. So that's how that story went. It is not how Raytina says.
Raytina Robinson was she's the perfect voice for it. So I was kind of upset about that. I was kind of hurt, but he fits me better. So God had a reason why he did everything in that way.
My life, my strength, my help, trouble is my rock, my hope, my joy and sorrow. He is my life, my strength. You have been my strength, Lord. My help, you have been my help. Trouble you are.